Well, welcome to another edition of the Morning Call. An outgoing chairperson of the African Union, South African Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, is expected to officially hand over to the incoming chairperson, Faki Moussa Mahamat, in the course of this week. Now, Dlamini Zuma and Mahamat have been in meetings since last week to discuss the handover, and the biggest question among experts and pundits for the incoming shedding chairperson, however, is how will he work towards stopping Africa from her endless bloodshed in conflict-ridden countries. According to them, the African problem have been discussed, the solutions have been debated, and some agreed, but action has not always been swift, and Mr. Faki comes at a time of pandemonium for the African Union, as in January's summit, heads of state agreed to proposals from Rwanda's President Paul Kagame that the AU should focus only on a limited number of priorities with a continental scope, such as political affairs, peace and security, and continental integration, and that institutional structures should be redesigned to reflect this.
When Moussa Faki will officially take up his responsibilities at the head of the African Union in April 2017, a major challenge will be awaiting, even if he will regularly report to the new chairperson of the Union, Alpha Conde, and to his executive council. Moussa Faki Mahamat will still be endowed with important powers as president of the Commission. According to experts, the power should be used particularly in the area of peace and security. The continent faces several crises, especially in South Sudan and in Central Africa, and these are the main areas Moussa Faki Mahamat dealt with while serving as Minister for Foreign Affairs. We speak this morning to Mr. François Bimogo, an analyst in international relations. He joins us now from Douala in Cameroon. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us this morning on the Morning Call. So Dlamini Zuma will be handing over to Moussa Faki. The challenges that await him include reforms to be made at the African Union, the creation of a free trade area, conflict management, integration in the democratic process of the continent, etc. Can we say that the immediate tasks seem to be difficult for the new chairperson?
Oui, on peut dire que la tâche est rude pour le nouveau président Moussa Faki.
Yes, we can say that the task will be tough for the new chairperson, Moussa Faki, who is coming at a time his predecessor, Dlamini Zuma, mainly focused on sympathy. There was a lot of hope when she replaced John Ping as the African Union boss. Today, after her 4-year term, she is disappointed of not being able to meet the expectations. So the new chairperson is lucky to have come from a country involved with the highest ranks left by Dlamini Zuma, including conflict resolution and security in Africa. He was the Minister for Defense for President Idris Deby for 8 years. This was not made up. He was involved in negotiations, military involvement in Mali, Chad, with a joint military force put in place that involved security forces from Cameroon, Niger, Nigeria and Chad, who are at the forefront.
Cela ne s'invente pas. Il a forcément été impliqué dans les tractations, dans l'implication militaire.
In my opinion, this will be the most urgent area which has more weight in terms of the major challenges that the continent is facing at the moment.
Militaire mixte qui a été mise en place, qui implique les éléments des forces de sécurité du Cameroun, du Niger, du Nigeria et du Tchad au premier rang. Et donc ce chantier-là sera, à mon avis, le plus urgent parce qu'il est le plus porteur en termes d'enjeux.
And looking at Dlamini Zuma's track record as the African Union chairperson, there were a lot of criticisms about her way of handling certain issues. Does the new chairperson have the ability to bring about change in the Commission?
J'avoue qu'il est difficile dans la configuration actuelle pour
I have to admit that it is difficult in the current setup that a president of the African Union Commission can stand up to the heads of states, since the heads of states are the ones who propose the candidates and then support them.
Au président de la Commission d'initier Et rien n'empêche.
But in the end, we can only count on the personality of each individual. Actually, nothing prevents the chairperson of the Commission to initiate, to tackle head-on the resolutions which are taken at the end of certain summits of the heads of state and implement them. Nothing prevents him to find alternative funding with other organizations. A last question. Today, more than ever, we are talking about the need for the African Union to reinvent itself. As an international expert, do you believe in this, and how can we get to that point?
Alors, c'est une chimère, c'est un vieux rêve qui date de Nkrumah.
It's an impossible dream. It's an old dream that dates back to Kwame Nkrumah, who was not able to see the independence of some African countries, and which has since continued from the Organization of African Union to the African Union to haunt the minds of the people. But we must say that at the current step, the setup and issues in some African countries, the level of development is still an impossible dream. I think that one of the most reasonable actions would be going through the regional economic communities, the CER. I think that there is more connection in economic terms than in political terms. These economic communities can serve as a launch to be able to build the Pan-African unity dream.
Pan-africain, tant rêvé.